First, let's separate the shoe cabinet boards and components. Then, let's find the door panel. The front side looks like this, and the back side looks like that. Place the side with the most holes facing upwards. Next, let's find the brackets from the accessories. These brackets are not left or right specific. Insert the part with the protrusion into the corresponding holes on the door panel and tap it in with a small hammer. Then, we see a small hole in this area. Let's find the right angle bracket from the accessories and the shortest pointed screw and secure them here. Pay attention, this area has both small and large holes. Let's use the small hole and screw it in with this screw.
After installing this, let's find the narrowest small white board from the boards and slot it into this position on the bracket. Once it's in place, stand it up. On the side, there is a small hole. We will use the smallest silver-pointed screw to secure it. The same goes for the other side. Now, to save time in our recording, I will use a power drill instead. For self-installation, it is recommended to use a manual screwdriver. Next, let's find a slightly wider white board from the boards. This board is slotted into this position, inserted and stood upright. There are two small holes. We will use the shortest pointed screw to secure it. Then, on the front side of the door panel, there are two small holes where we will install the handles. We have 3 handles, so let's take them out and check the flat-headed screws in the accessories. These screws are used to install the handles. Insert the screws from the inside and tighten them together with the handles to complete the installation. After installing the handles, let's find the hinges from the accessories. They have one long end and one short end. Insert the long end into the small hole on the side of the door panel and tap it in with a small hammer. Repeat the same process for the other direction. Once this door panel is installed, the other 2 door panels can be installed using the same method. After all 3 door panels are installed, we can proceed to install the side panels. The side panel consists of 2 parts, one white and one gray. Let's unfold them and take a look. On this side, there are small holes that are used to install wooden plugs. You can find the wooden plugs in the accessory package. If they are not fitting tightly, You can tap them in gently. Then, we align the white panel with the gray panel with wooden plugs and ensure they are fitted tightly without any gaps. Repeat the same process for the other side. Once both sides are assembled, let's locate the white pre-embedded fittings on the panels. We will find the black screws and screw them into the white pre-embedded fittings. Once everything is securely screwed in, let's move on to the other side of the panel. Here, we will install the plastic door stop. The door stop can be either white or black. The side brackets may also be black. Simply install them as usual. For the other side panel, we will follow the same process for installation. Once both side panels are installed, we can proceed to install the top panel and bottom panel. Let's locate these two pieces. One is the top panel and the other is the bottom panel. Let's take a look at the two panels. One of them has small holes on top, and this panel is the bottom panel. It has these small holes. We will start by working on the bottom panel and finding the cabinet legs. The front side of the bottom panel has a semicircular curvature, and triangular legs are used for the front side. Align the legs with the positioning holes to place them in the correct position, and use slightly longer yellow screws to install and secure them. Pay attention to the screws used for the positioning holes. Once the positioning holes are secured, the other two holes can be directly screwed in with pointed screws. Repeat the same process for the legs on the other side. The two legs at the back are cylindrical and adjustable in height, which can help differentiate them as the back legs. Similarly, align the back legs with the corresponding holes and tighten them with screws. Once all four legs are installed, flip the entire panel over. You will see the white plastic pre-embedded fittings. Using the black rod screws, screw them in just as before. This completes the installation of the bottom panel. Similarly, for the top panel, locate the white plastic pre-embedded fittings and screw them in with the black rod screws. This will complete the installation of both the top panel and the bottom panel. After installing the top and bottom panels, let's focus on the side panels. Next, we will install the pull bar on the back of the side panel. The pull bar with a through hole is the upper pull bar, and we place it at the top of the side panel. To proceed, we first need to distinguish the top and bottom orientation of the side panel. The side of the door stop that is closer to the edge of the side panel is the upper side. Note that the upper pull bar should have its larger round hole facing backward, and the groove on the side of the pull bar should be facing inward. Once the position is determined, align the holes on the pull bar with the previously installed black rod screws and join them together until there are no gaps. The larger round hole needs to be locked using a lock buckle, and our lock buckle accessory looks like this. The lock buckle has a notch. Pay attention to the presence of a notch. Align the notch with the part where the screw protrudes, press it in, and tighten it with a screwdriver to secure it. Repeat the same process for the other side. Next, we will install the middle pull bar. The middle pull bar has grooves on both sides. Insert the bar with the 4 larger holes facing backward onto the middle black rod screws. And lock it in place using the lock buckle. Then, let's locate the lower pull bar. It has 5 larger holes on one side and grooves on the other side. Similarly, ensure that the grooves face inward and the side with the round holes faces backward. Insert it onto the lower black rod screws and secure it with the lock buckle. After installing the pull bars, let's find the back panel. These 2 thin panels, one of them has round holes, and this is where we will install the ventilation holes. In the parts package, you will find a fitting for the ventilation holes. Separate it in the middle and thread it through the holes. Then, close both sides and snap it together. Once completed, slide the panel with the ventilation holes into the upper section of the cabinet, following the groove marks. Make sure to check that the panel is fully inserted into the grooves of the side panel. After installation, the back panel may protrude slightly, which is normal. The protruding part is meant to slide into the grooves of the other side panel. Next, we will use the same method to install the lower back panel. Next, let's locate the door leaf that we just installed. Find the part of the door leaf that acts as the pivot axis and insert it into the small round hole on the side panel. Make sure that the door leaf is facing upward in the open position. Repeat the same process for the other 2 door leaves. Once you have inserted all 3 door leaves, you can use a foam pad or a book with some thickness to prop up the upper part of the cabinet. Then, proceed to install the other side panel. Align the black rod screw with the corresponding hole and insert it into place. Make sure the front side of the pivot axis aligns properly and press it down until there are no gaps. Next, we need to attach the lock buckle to the large round hole on the other side of the pull bar. Once all the lock buckles are secured, locate the top panel and align the black rod screws with the pre-drilled holes. Insert them until there are no gaps. You will notice a round hole at the back, and we will use the lock buckle to secure it as well. Finally, open the top door leaf. Use the lock buckles to secure the 2 large holes on the top. Repeat the same process for the other 2 holes on the top. Next, install the bottom panel by propping up the cabinet with a foam block or a book. Align the black rod screws with the pre-drilled holes on the bottom panel. Open the bottom door leaf and install the lock buckles. Install the lock buckles on the 2 round holes on top as well. There is also a round hole at the back, so install a lock buckle there too. The overall assembly of the cabinet is now complete. Next, ensure that the cabinet is upright, preferably with 2 people to prevent the cabinet legs from spreading apart. Once the cabinet is upright, check the backside. You will find plastic triangles and screws left over, which are reinforcement accessories for the back panel. Insert the side with a thin strip into the gap of the back panel. Use a longer pointed screw to vertically secure it in place. We recommend installing reinforcement devices in other areas as well. If you want to fix it to the wall, you can use the wall nails included in the accessory pack. First, drill holes in the wall. Insert the anchors into the wall, and then pass the long screws through the cabinet from the inside. Exactly. Once the anchors are inserted into the wall, secure the cabinet to the wall using the anchors and screws. Make sure the cabinet is properly aligned and securely fastened to the wall for stability and safety.